Welcome to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tifft and myself, Keith Migra. How are you doing today, Matt? It looks like you got a little sun, so that's cool.
It's Fourth of July weekend. It's red, white, and blue T-shirt. I did it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you got a little sun. I got a little sun too, so that's a plus. I'm nowhere. You're like tan, I think. Is that red or tan? I can't tell. But either way, it's.
It'll eventually turn into tan.
But
It's
it
red
does.
right now.
But it doesn't look like horribly red. Do you know what I mean? Like it looks like it could be a tan. Might be like you got just a bit too much sun. I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah, no, I got a little bit too much sun. So yesterday at Red America in Wisconsin for the Fourth of July race, I
Yeah,
definitely got too much sun.
too much sun.
Today, went on the boat for a little bit, so I
Yeah.
added to that problem. But I put sunscreen on today. I didn't wear it yesterday, so that's probably why. I didn't get burnt today at all.
No,
But
you didn't.
yesterday, because you can tell because I was wearing a
Whoa. That's
polo shirt,
reflecting off the green
polo
screen.
shirt, no polo shirt. Yes, I
So,
like to wear my polo shirts on my necks.
yeah. So did you have a good 4th of July weekend? Was that, everything go good? You guys see
Yeah,
fireworks and stuff?
yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. We were at Road America, Wisconsin. Coolest place for a new NASCAR venue. We
Oh,
won't talk about it too much, but
yeah, right,
what
right,
a
right.
cool event! This first time NASCAR, the Cup Series has gone there. The Xfinity Series, the header or the lead up to the show is clips in my car from that track. So obviously NASCAR has been there,
Right, right.
but yeah, that the Cup Series has not been there since I think it's been 65 years, something like that. So
Holy smokes.
oh my goodness, the people turned out. At least 175,000 people, if not 200,000 people, were there on the
That's
ground.
insane.
I mean, you put in this is the tiny town of Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin, population 10, and it became probably the biggest, second biggest city to Milwaukee in Wisconsin. So I just want to say that was one of the coolest events I've been to. Like I've been saying, we've had a lot of cool events these last few weeks. Going to Nashville for the first time,
Yeah.
going to Austin, Texas for the first time for their inaugural race. I mean, we have had sold out crowds, seas of people, hundreds of thousands of people. I mean, this last month has felt like it's been, and Pocono, the most amount of camping on the campground since the 1990s. I mean, this feels like
Wow.
2005 was the heyday of NASCAR. And I know we're coming out of COVID, so
Sure.
I don't know how long this lasts, but right now, this feels like the height of NASCAR of 2005 for when you went to the track. Now, TV viewership has changed, things like that have changed, and things like that. But
Sure.
being at an event like that, the energy and the fun and the camping and just everything behind it is so cool. And I think it's something that's really fun because we have an ownership group and more importantly, a leader in Steve Phelps. It's kind of like our commissioner.
Sure.
Um, they took a chance this year and said, "Hey, we're going to new venues. We're going to stop going to some tracks twice to go take a chance on a new city. In this case, a new town, not even a city." And it's amazing that this many people have shown up. This many people have responded. And back in the early 2000s, NASCAR took this big thing to go expand. So we
Right.
stopped going to the southeastern tracks, the short tracks, and we said, "Hey, we're going to Vegas. We're going to LA. We're going to Miami. We're going to all these big markets." But you know what? The heart of NASCAR and the soul of NASCAR fans is not in those places all the time.
Right.
Maybe
Not in
it's a
those markets.
city,
Right.
maybe do a street course in the city and bring the track to them. That's always something. And I know
Sure.
they're talking about that for the future to do street races, like city races like Formula One does. But the heart of NASCAR fans is in Middle America. And we've been doing this now these last couple weeks. And my goodness, the excitement and the fun we've had with these last few weeks, not talking about, competition or team ownership, anything like that,
Sure.
just being involved top to bottom from an event standpoint, it feels like we are getting the attention the top motorsports series in America deserves. And that is really cool.
Wow. What a good way to put that. I mean, in all seriousness, if you look back at, we were talking about this I mean, even when we first started talking about the movie and stuff, when we first had a chance to catch up and kind of meet each other in person, we were talking about how I was never a fan. I didn't make fun of it. I mean, I did like everybody else, the left turn thing. But I was never like, I've never anti NASCAR, never anything like that. But I never realized how big it was. And then today we had a chance to chat for just a couple minutes off air earlier. And that's when you hit me with like the 100,000, almost 200, possibly 200,000 people. And I just, yeah.
Like the Dallas Cowboys Stadium is big. Like, oh my God, there's so many people here. Twice
Yeah.
that.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like that, I was trying to envision like how the hell are 100 to 200,000 people all congregated in one area? Like, forget COVID protocols or whatever. I mean, now that we're opening up and everything's back again, but how the hell does that even happen? Like, that's a population of a city over
It is.
here. Like, that is absolutely insane.
It is. But the cool thing to me, so you look at, we talk a lot about on the show, changing of sports for good or for bad, right?
Yeah.
Different rule changes, different evolution of, say baseball, right? So talking about extra innings, having a runner on second. I don't like the rule. Things with pitching counts and things like that, the timer, things like that. Basketball, just different ways they play it. Football, all the contact stuff they have in flags and stuff. We'll get into that, I'm sure, as we go into the fall for season 2 here.
Sure.
There's a lot of stuff we talk about in the evolution of pro sports.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at NASCAR, and again, like you said, the stereotype of left turn, left turn, left turn.
Right.
July 4th race was historically the Firecracker 400 at Daytona. So you had the Daytona 500, and then they had the July 4th race was always a night race at Daytona. So that was forever. I mean,
Wow.
decades. That was the race. Well, the last few years, that kind of weaned off, and we're like, okay, we need a new home. So we went to Indianapolis. It was okay. COVID didn't help, obviously. But still. But Indianapolis, July 4th weekend, like it is hot in Indianapolis. Nobody wants to sit in Indianapolis in the middle of the summer in hot bleacher seats. Going to a place in the middle of Wisconsin, still hot, but here's the cool thing. You camp for the whole weekend. You bring the family, you bring the kids. They have all room to go across the entire thing, throw a football around, have a campfire. You bring your lawn chairs. And the cool thing is there too, you don't have to sit in one seat. There's no seats. So you go bleacher to bleacher, get your golf cart, get your moped, bring your car, whatever, go turn to turn because it's a 5-mile track. So it's just like Mid-Ohio. You can go move around the track. It's like going to a Browns game and saying, I'm going to go sit in the dog pound. I want to go to the nosebleeds. I want to go wherever I want. And you can do that there.
Wow.
And that's what's so cool. So I think because of that, they've found a new home for the 4th of July weekend because it truly was a spectacle. It's also Road America. How fitting is that for 4th of July weekend?
Right.
And the first race being on 4th of July, the actual 4th of July date. That was pretty cool. The race itself is pretty good. Not fantastic, but pretty good.
Right.
But, it's going to have its moments over the next few years of doing it. But talking about the evolution of the sport, where I was going with this was never in a million years going to Daytona for 40, 50, 60 years as a 4th of July race. Being in the South, did I think that you'd change it to going to a 14-turn road course in the middle of a national forest in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin? Like, what?
That's crazy. So why did they do that? Just because, I mean, what was the point of it? Are you talking about just literally it is because the evolution of the sport, the way they're trying to market, they're getting more people out there? Is that what's happening?
So the Chicago racetrack was called Chicagoland Speedway.
Okay.
So the Chicagoland Speedway was called Chicago. Now it's in Joliet, Illinois. Now Joliet is about an hour away from Chicago, so it's not really Chicago. But knowing Chicago, just like Manhattan, not Manhattan, but New York City, it is expanding like crazy. So there was not a race there this year. Now the controversy is, well, the land value of the track might be worth more than what the track is worth to NASCAR. I personally hope they go back there and add a race back in, but they knew there already was a NASCAR base there, and they could bring those people up to Wisconsin, just an hour drive from there.
Yeah.
But NASCAR had already raced there in the Xfinity series, so it was already a regular stop. So they knew they had the facility to, they had this trial run for almost 10 years now to be able to see if the track
Wow.
could handle the logistics behind it.
Sure.
But I think the reason Road America was able to fit that spot and get the bill to be this big event, I mean, really a crown jewel, not a crown jewel, but like up there with the crown jewel events as far as people being there.
Sure.
Um, I think the reason they got it was because NASCAR's evolution of this next gen car is going towards road course racing.
Really.
So when you look at this racetrack, the most historic, the most prolific, the best racetrack in America when it comes to road course racing is Road America. So taking this historic racetrack, bringing the Cup Series there for the first time in almost 70 years,
Yeah.
I think that was a move to kind of come back to what are we doing with this sport, and it's evolving. And I think that to go put that event in a place it's never been
Right.
was an evolution of NASCAR. And I think that
Smart on
showed
that
it.
part.
And the people that showed up was a big statement of saying, you did the right thing. I think
Right.
that's cool.
Yeah, no, that is cool. That's super awesome. So switching gears a little bit from the whole NASCAR thing, there is something that's been trending. We lost a great director. This is horrible. So I'm gonna let you go ahead. This I hate when I hear stuff like this, just because I grew up on it. I watched it. You know what I mean? It's like one of those things you're like, come on, does it have to happen?
Yep. No, so yeah, obviously totally switching gears here, but so Richard Donner, he was the director of Superman, The Goonies, and I think Lethal Weapon
Lethal
as
Weapon.
well. So obviously we coined this episode the Sloth Monster on here, but in all seriousness, I think so. He passed away. He was 91 years old, and
Yeah.
so when you look at Superman and what that was, and obviously the Cleveland roots of Superman,
Right.
and
Right.
a lot of people forget about that. I mean, Superman was dawned in Cleveland with the comic books and things like that.
That's
But
right.
when you take it to the big screen, I think Richard Donner was one of the first people that really defined what a superhero movie was.
Oh
And what a
yeah.
super and look where that is now. I mean, look at the Avengers, look at DC. I mean, every big box office thing has to do with a superhero now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in my opinion, and to be honest, like when you look at this, I didn't think much of it. When I first saw it, not that I wasn't sad, but like you don't think too much into like what the ramifications of what somebody does. But when you look at the work and you think about it and what today's world looks like, without those things being done in the movies we see today in pop culture, because it goes beyond movies, it's pop culture,
Oh,
right?
100%.
So the pop culture that he created between Superman going to the Avengers and DC, everything we have there, the Goonies, hello, Stranger Things, everything we have with Netflix and Outer Banks, all that stuff is all these treasure hunting shows and things like that. The whole feel is from the Goonies.
Yeah.
Everything like that has come from this one man.
That I mean, and that's we talked about it before. I think like leaving a legacy behind, right? Like if you were to, if we're to leave Earth now, what legacy are we gonna end up giving people? Are we gonna, are the fans of the show gonna remember us? Are the fans of NASCAR gonna remember you? Or the movies I'm in, the TV shows I'm in, are they gonna remember me for that? The man was more than just a director and producer and stuff. He really did pave the way for it. I don't care what anybody says. The Goonies will always forever be a cult classic. It's never going
Oh,
away. It will never be taken off of the air ever. They'll never find a way to look at the Goonies and go cancel. You know what I mean? Like it's just cancel culture can't hit that, and it's
no.
because of the time period it was in. It's because of the way it was produced, directed, written, whatever. Super sad to hear stuff like that, but you're right. Talk about Stranger Things. He did make it to where, yeah. Guess what? These things are coming out now, and a lot of us, a lot of the fans, a lot of the even the actors that are in this stuff now have him to thank.
Right. Well, look at Stranger Things. Look at I bring up Outer Banks because that's another deal of going to. I'm going to watch that show, but I highly recommend it. Very much like the not fully Stranger Things feel, but again another kind of a group feel of just kind of a similar vibe to it. But I think the when you look at Stranger Things, and I'm excited for the fourth season to come out. We'll talk about that in a little bit too. But the whole premise of Stranger Things is based, somewhat loosely off of the Goonies,
Yeah.
or maybe not loosely, maybe somewhat more than that.
Well,
But
yeah, for sure. It has that. It has the Stranger Things has that '80s feel. You know what I mean? It's got that '80s feel from the Goonies, like from that the time period. So yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
but think about that. And so Stranger Things is brought into the fold, and this is
Yep.
what 4 or 5 years ago. Stranger Things is first brought out, right?
I'm pretty. Yeah, I
Something
do
like
believe 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah.
And so look at music, The Weeknd, everything with them, retro stuff. Look at what can't I think? Not Metro Station. There's another band. Why can't I think of it? I'll think of it in a second. But a lot of indie rock and stuff like that goes
Yeah.
back to retro stuff now. There's a lot of retro things that have come back out because
Right.
when you look at that time frame, all of a sudden Stranger Things, oh, the 80s is cool. Like a fashion trends, 80s was cool, now 90s is cool, 2000 is coming back. And
Right.
we the icons of the not the genres, but the generation trends and
Yeah.
era trends. You can look back to when Stranger Things came out and things like that. So you can't point to one thing and say, "Hey, that started it," but that was a big movement in there for people to start thinking back to those times. And one of my favorite things, honestly, in Stranger Things is the '80s mall in there because I remember going to the South Park Mall and the
Oh my God, South Park Mall.
restaurant. Yep,
Wow,
yep.
you used to
So
go out there?
what?
You used to go there?
I still do. Yeah, if I'm in Ohio, it's only 15 minutes from my house. Yeah.
Really? I
Yep.
didn't know that. I really,
Yeah.
I really didn't. I had no idea. I remember the Starnville. I don't go there anymore, but I do
Yeah.
know.
Like there, and then what's the mall in Akron?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Tyler, what's the mall in Akron? That's that. Is that still? That's still there, right?
It's still there. Yeah, it's still going. But look that up while we're talking about that, Tyler. But anyways, those like growing up, all the neon lights and stuff on the side and stuff of that, like how it's shown in Stranger Things, like everything in that movie just reminded me of being a kid because again, like
Yeah.
everything I knew as a kid is gone now, right?
Yeah.
So just everything in there's like, oh, I remember that. I've been like skating rinks and things like that. Like we used to have skate nights in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, like everything in there that I grew up with. Nobody past me will really have those things. So
Right. Right.
so they got to have in their teen years and stuff, but just cool to me because watching that stuff, it's like a big flashback. And of course, the big hair and big puffer
Big
jackets and
bands.
stuff
Right.
like that. It's coming back now, but like not how it was then or anything. But still, I think when you look at Stranger Things and the stuff that we go through as a cultural thing, you can look to guys like him that were icons in that. And then you go to Superman. I mean, Superman painted this whole way. Look at even in sports, Cam Newton's Superman, right? Like, so it's something that he created stuff that was far more than just movies. And that's why you and I have talked about this in the past. But movies to me are so cool because when I go into a movie theater, I go into a different world. That's how I feel. I know you're a little bit different with it, but that's how I feel. I feel like I step into a different world, right?
Sure.
So when I'm in there, I feel like I'm out of Matt's head. There's nothing going on, and I'm just absorbed into this world. So what happens from there? If you look at Superman, you look at the stuff that's come from it. It is it's transcendent across everything. And so if you are the director of a movie and you're able to do something like that is so culturally transparent and culturally well responded to, I mean
Yeah.
that is absolutely incredible. And that's Star Wars level.
No, you're absolutely right. That is Star Wars level. Chapel Hill or Summit?
Summit.
Summit Mall.
Yep.
Okay. Tyler just sent me the text for that. But here's the so here's my take on the why I think all this is coming back. The '80s were a simpler time. Whether anybody wants to believe it or not, it was just a simpler time, right? And when you have like Stranger Things, which is bringing, but it's not just Stranger Things that brought the retro back. Stranger Things paved the way to make this stuff cool, just like you were talking about, like, oh, they brought it back. But there was a show on Netflix called Glow. It was about the 80s wrestling women.
Yeah.
Like, so
Yeah.
there's that. Now there's a show coming out on Apple TV, I think, that it's like some it's like some
One of
jazz.
Dark Shadow episodes. Look upon the 80s. Scream Queens.
Scream
Uh,
Queens, yes.
yes, great, hilarious show.
Yes.
Emma Roberts is so good in that.
Oh, 100%.
American Horror Story 1984, also same director, Emma Roberts in that as well. But
Yep.
all that stuff in there is so good.
Yeah, but it is though, and it's like taking it back to the '80s. Like, obviously Stranger Things. This isn't a spoiler alert. Just turn the thing on. If you notice, they open up with a giant Dungeons and Dragons game. That was super popular back then, and it's still popular now. I do a podcast called Unmortal, where we talk all things, nerdy and all things like that. But you got to remember, back then, nerd used to be a bad, it was a bad thing. You're a nerd, you're a geek, you're this. But nowadays, you're not anymore. Like, if you anybody could nerd out about anything. And I think that when Stranger Things set out, I did not think I don't believe that they thought it was going to be that big of a hit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, then they started to panic. They're like, oh my God, now we got to do this and this and this. And I give massive credit to the directors, to the writers, all the way from the producers, that it caught on so quick,
And they didn't ruin, and they did not ruin.
right, and even through all that panic,
And the kids growing up.
yes, and they kept it. I think they did right. Like, I really do. I think, like, for something that caught that quick, it's probably hard sometimes to wrangle it in. You know what I mean? Like, they could have went horrible directions with this, and try to do all kinds of bad stuff. But you're right; they didn't ruin it. They kept it the way it should. At least that's how I believe. It looks like that's how you believe. They kept it the way they should. It's amazing.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's crazy to me when you look at Stranger Things, and also you look at even the other 80s stuff that's coming out. So Disney, for an example, their new ride that they're building is Tron. Tron was a fantastic movie.
Oh,
One of the
yeah.
underrated movies with Jeff Bridges and stuff in there. And so they're building a Tron ride there. Disney is building an 80s ride. I mean, I know that's off their new movie, but like still, and they're putting Tron Legacies or something like that on Disney Plus. There's so much of a push to it. It's really interesting. I've always been an 80s movie guy. So I mean, not movie, music guy. I do like 80s movies too, but I've loved 80s music forever. So I'm a big hair band, big classic rock guy, whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
I'm always getting with that stuff. But even like, just you look at Disney, the biggest freaking company in the world for entertainment, and they're building an 80s Tron ride. Like,
I like okay. So are you a roller coaster guy? You like roller coasters?
huge, yes.
Okay, so my son, enormous into roller coasters now.
I used to be like a full fanatic. I can tell you just about any kind of coaster. I can tell you who built the Millennium Force, the Maverick, and the
What?
Tropical Dragon, all the same company.
Are you serious?
Mhm.
Huh.
I used
Was that it? You're not gonna tell? There's nothing else to that.
oh,
I
I'm
felt like you
sorry.
were gonna. I felt like we were about to go on an architectural quest with Matt
Oh,
Tifft about. I guess not.
well, okay. Well, if you want to do that, it's like the Millennium Force at Cedar Point is called a Giga Coaster. They did that here down in Charlotte called the Fury 325. The same sort of a coaster, very similar coasters, but the Millennium Force is a better roller coaster. It has more rolling hills, higher speed sections, things like that. It doesn't have extremely high G-force because I get all black and fuzzy and things like that, and I just kind of knock out. Then come back a week and get back.
Jesus, I kind
Uh,
of get knocked out. Oh
yeah,
my God, that's intense.
I used to be able to tell you every single thing about roller coasters. So that's cool. Your son likes them. But I used to be able to tell you every single builder, every single track fact about them. Like I could tell you everything about them. But sorry, what were you saying about that?
No, so basically the whole Cedar Point thing. So okay, this is a common thing. Cedar Point is worldwide known, right? Like they are world known, huh?
Intamin was the builder. My bad.
Oh, it's okay. I forgive you. I don't even know what the hell that means, but we're good.
It's the
So
company that roller coaster that for
uh,
the best roller coaster in the world. Keep going.
so all right. Let me ask you a question. Are you down? Obviously North Carolina, or whatever. Are you down there? And do you ever hear anybody talk about Cedar Point? Like, is that a thing? Like, does anybody? It's not like that well known, or is it super well known?
I was kind of disappointed, to be honest with you, because
Really?
yeah, we're going to Carowinds. I'm like, oh yeah, well that's owned by the same company, Cedar Point. What's Cedar Point?
Somebody, I don't know, as a Clevelander, as a Northeast Ohioan, I don't know how I would respond to that kind of trash talk.
I know it's sad,
Those are
honestly.
those are fighting words.
Yeah, nobody knows. That's the thing. It's sad. It really is, but nobody knows it.
I wonder why. I thought at one point in time Cedar Point was like super like popular everywhere. Like I thought it was almost like a Six Flags type destination or whatever.
It still is, but I just don't think it's. I don't think
As
it's as
big.
well known as we think it is. Being when you're stuck regionally, everybody knows it, right? But when you get out of your region, you have your other places. So Cedar Fair is a parent company. So if you're looking for a Cedar Fair park, they have like 10 or 12 of them. So if you're in California, you're going to Knott's Berry Farm. If you're in Michigan, you're going to Michigan's Great Adventure. If you're in Cleveland, you're going to Jaga Lake before. Then you'd be going to Cedar Point. If you're in Sandusky, if you're down here, you're going to Carowinds. Like there's so
Wow.
many of them.
Yeah, I guess I did. I
So
guess I didn't realize that.
yeah, so I think it's kind of like Six Flags where you have 10, 15, 20 parks. It's like, oh yeah, Six Flags. But there's Six Flags. There was Six Flags New Orleans. There's Six Flags over Texas. There's Six Flags California. There's Six Flags in Florida. There's Six Flags in somewhere in the Northeast. There's Six Flags everywhere. Like it's kind of the same thing. It's like, oh, I know the brand, but I don't know the location. Cedar Point is kind of the
Right.
same thing.
Oh, no kidding. I didn't know that.
I don't know. It's kind of depressing, isn't it?
I mean, kind of a little bit, because we like pride our like in Northeast Ohio. Like Cedar Point's our staple. Like this is what we do. This is don't talk trash about Cedar Point.
But everybody who didn't know about it, my wife included, who went to Cedar Point, they like roller coasters. They're like, "Oh my gosh, this is incredible!" So it's still
Really?
the clout's still there. You just got to get them there.
Why aren't they marketing this? Why aren't they advertising on our show? Cedar, we need to call Cedar Point if we that's what we need to do. I'm gonna call Cedar
I
Point.
used to
Like,
be able to
listen.
know the exact words and stuff of like what they would say when I got in the car. Which, by the way, they need to work on that because they used to say like when you got in the car, they'd say, "Okay, undo your lap belts, whatever." And they'd say, "Enjoy your day here at Cedar Point, America's Rock and Roller Coast." Well, they got rid of the Rock and Roller Coast, and now they just say, "Enjoy your day here at Cedar Point, America's Roller Coast." The Rock and Roller Coast to me,
That was it.
flowed off the tongue like beautiful. Take that out, America's Roller Coast. It's cool, but America's Rock and Roller Coast,
Yeah.
like
Come on. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is too. I mean, come on. You have to throw that in there. You
the marketing
absolutely have to.
opportunities are endless.
Yes, absolutely they are. Let's take our I think we're only gonna take one break today. We started a bit late. I was running around.
I was late. It's okay, and
I was tied up.
It's okay.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Life in the Fast Lane with Matt Tifft and myself, Keith Migra. We're switching gears, kind of, or gas tanks. We're going to talk about Vin Diesel. Yeah.
It wouldn't be Life in the Fast Lane if we didn't talk about Fast and Furious, would it?
I'm upset with that. That was a good segue. I wish I would have came up with that.
I know. I'm disappointed in you.
I
So-
understand.
So actually, for the last month and a half, so there's an Amstar theater up here in Mooresville, North Carolina. We've been renting it out every week for our team to go watch every Fast and Furious movie from 1, and we're going to catch up all the way till 9. Then we'll watch it because obviously that one just came out. So
Hold on a second.
yes,
Did you just say that there is a movie theater that you are renting out so that your team can watch Fast and Furious?
yeah, you're going to do any movie, but yeah. So currently we're doing Fast and Furious.
I'm jealous. Go ahead, continue.
The ask any of the Cinemarks around there. We did it for Christmas up there too. We did Elf for $100. We had the whole family to pitch in.
It's only $100.
Mhm.
$100 to rent out a movie theater.
Yeah, and we ran like 30 people.
I'm gonna have really.
Mhm.
Well, now I'm interested. Now I'm intrigued because I'm about to rent out all the Batmans.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna do the Dark Knight at some point. Next up on the list is Top Gun.
Oh, I'm coming to that one.
'Cause I haven't seen it.
What? How do you live life without seeing Top Gun? You haven't lived. When you watch Top Gun, you're gonna. Matt will become a man that day. Like you're already a man, but you will become. You'll have a full beard. You're gonna walk in there like that. You're gonna walk out with a beard like Tyler. It's gonna be luxurious and just flowing. You're gonna have so much wisdom you can pass down. It's gonna be crazy. So yeah, I look forward to the day you walk out of there looking like Chuck Norris.
I won't let you down, Goose.
Why am I Goose? Why do I have to be Goose?
You're always Goose.
I am. Gosh dang it. That hurts a little, but you're not wrong. All right, so Vin Diesel, you guys are running out the whole Fast and Furious, which is super cool.
Yeah, so we've been watching every Fast and Furious movie. So I got to tell you, so we're on 6. This week is 7. So this is. So we just finished 6, which is like the airplane hangar scene where it goes for like 40 miles of airplane fight scene.
I like the fact that you're laughing about it, but go ahead.
Who thought of that? Wait, just keep going. Just keep going.
Back to 1.
Just keep, send it back to 1. Back to 1 again. Send up the plane. Pull up more cars, but keep it rolling. Do we do anything wrong? No, it's great. It's perfect. Just keep doing it.
Oh, that's funny.
In case you haven't seen this movie that came out 10 years ago, it came. Spoiler alert! Right at the end of the movie, his girlfriend, I can't remember her name, I think Gazelle or something like that,
right.
And Han die. That's sad. Because now I'm like emotionally invested in this movie, right?
Well,
because
sure.
I'm watching it every week. So I don't know if it's 7 or 8 that Paul Walker dies, but I know it's here.
Right.
I think it's 7.
Pretty sure it is actually.
I have not cried watching a movie since Forrest Gump.
How about Forrest Gump?
The feather at the end gets me.
Jesus. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's a feather.
I am so sorry.
Way to derail a beautiful moment, Keith. Thank you.
Keep going.
Nope.
Oh man, I get the whole Paul Walker thing, man. I'm with you, but Forrest.
Jenny was a bitch.
Oh, now I'm crying. Oh my gosh. Okay, go ahead. I can't.
Fix the board up here that says "Days Without Crying." Then back to.
Oh man. Okay. All right. All right. We're good.
So,
We're good.
anyways, so
Oh,
this is the last one, I do believe. That so Letty's back. Han and his girlfriend just died, and I do believe this is the last one with Paul Walker. And I'm telling you, the first time so I've seen every Fast and Furious movie, except I've still never seen Tokyo Drift. I wasn't there for that week, and I
does
still
that
missed it.
does that count? Is that actually technically part of the franchise, or
I
does it
don't
just have
think
the
so,
name
but
in
I
it? I
also
don't think
don't
so
think
either.
that Hobbs. Well, I guess technically it counts because they count it as three.
Mm.
But and I think it does count because Han becomes a big character in there. So I think yes, you do have to count it. And the series was tanking, and then Vin Diesel and them came to an agreement at the end of the movies being shot there that he'd come back if he had creative control, which is when Fast Forward came on, and then all of them have been great since then. But so that being said, well, Hobbs and Shaw is its own knockoff.
That's a
So
spin-off. That doesn't count as the Fast,
exactly,
right? That's okay.
it was a good movie, but anyways. So seven's coming up. So Paul Walker is about to die, and I'm telling you, I've never cried in a theater, and I'm preparing myself because watching him week in week out on this thing, like I'm about to be like emotionally effed up. Like I'm, it's gonna be bad. I don't know if it's 7 or 8, but it's coming, man. Like it's coming. So that being said, um, I'm excited for that to watch the end of these. Fast 9 has come out. I haven't seen any of the reviews. I haven't watched anything of it because I'm just trying to wait until I actually go see the movie after we finish everything. I don't want
Sure.
to know anything about it. But anyway, so we've been doing that, which has been cool. But um, there's been a funny trend on the internet because people on the internet are hilarious. Also, they're very mean, but they're also hilarious. So, of course, according to Vin Diesel, nothing is stronger than family.
Nothing is what?
Nothing is stronger than family.
I saw that meme where it came out where he's sitting in there's Jurassic Park. The dude's flipped over in the car and like, no, don't go. And he's like, nothing is stronger than family.
There's so many. So there's Loki. And Loki says, I have an army. And then Vin Diesel, I have a family.
The only thing
So,
is like you want to know what kind of sort of sucks a little bit about that is that I stopped watching after after the fourth movie. I haven't seen it. Did Tyler's? I know. I had to shut my mic off. I was laughing so hard, but like, oh, Tyler didn't send it to you. Oh, I thought he sent you what he sent me because you started
yeah.
laughing.
No, I saw something else that was funny. Oh,
God,
wait.
Tyler sent me a Forrest Gump meme. It's just I
You know
can't.
the Drake thing where it's like him in the puffer jacket and it's like the nope and then like the yeah kind of face.
Yeah.
It's Vin Diesel, he's going nope to only fans. Then he's going yeah to only family.
Oh my God. So like
Oh my gosh, this one's awesome. I'm just scrolling on Twitter looking at it. It's Lilo and Stitch. Ohana means family, and family means no one gets left behind or forgotten. This mother effer spitting.
oh my gosh, I can't laugh anymore, dude. You're making my eyes water.
Okay, this is the last one. Like Tyler sent it that way in a second. So it's the Avengers,
Oh no.
and it's like the end of it, and it's like the end fight scene, and it's all the Avengers, and then it's Dom going in and says, "Dom, that's suicide." And it says Thanos is strong. Then it has Dom with a shotgun, just pointing at
Yes.
saying, "Not as strong as family."
That's the one I saw. Why? Why? Oh my gosh.
Why'd you have to send me that meme with Forrest Gump again?
Dude, when he sent me the Forrest Gump thing, I had to shut my mic off because I literally started to. You ever watch Zach Galifianakis in
Yes.
Dinner for Schmucks? Where like he just stays still, but all you hear is like the hard, strenuous laugh. That's what I was doing. It was not acceptable. All right, so as we're coming close to, he's still laughing. This is
So many good ones. Having Vin Diesel right now on Twitter. Oh my god, there's like some Gollum creature like cuddled up, or no, it's I don't know, it's Voldemort. I think it's Voldemort or something. It's Harry Potter. And this captain says, "What happened to him?" And this Vin Diesel, he didn't have family.
damn it, Matt. All right, guys, make sure you check us out on iHeartRadio, Google, Spotify. That's not right. Google Podcasts, then Spotify. All the places where our family of podcasts happen to reside in. Make sure you follow us and follow me at Keith Migra1. Follow Matt at Matt_Tifft. Make sure you check out Team Live Fast. That is some good stuff. Matt is dying over in the car. It's hard for me to end the show and talk because I see your reactions, and they're freaking hilarious.
It's like the stages of drugs. It's like their pupil sizes, and it's like cocaine, like huge eyes, marijuana, like still pretty good beer, like just kind of like drunk guys, and then family.
That one got Tyler. Guys, make sure you tune in. Next, when is the next show? Just so I know.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
this
no!
is horrible.
What happened?
The worst movie made of superheroes, Shazam. A horrible movie. But it says the only movie Vin Diesel approves of, and it's all the Shazam people. And it's Vin Diesel in his cut off jacket, and his cut off auto mechanic jacket, holding a shotgun.
Like he's dying. Oh, we'll check you out or check us out next time.
Joe, go away.